Alright, hello everybody. This is Elizabeth from Massively or GuildCast, and right now I'm messing up massively. Alright, there we go. So I'm in the upper level chart area on an elementalist, kind of tooling around. I don't know if that interests people. I know that you were just watching a Mesmer, but then I also know that Mesmer apparently was big in requests a while ago, so I don't know if people want me to switch over to that. Or what you're most interested in. I see Ellie, no, but I don't know what the no means. I see Go Necro, which wasn't even on the table, but I do have one. Alright, I'm seeing a lot of elementalists, so for now we're just going to stick with this. And in a second here I'll switch out of my staff. Something a little more new to me. Alright, let's see. Let's go dagger for a while. Yeah, do daggers sound fun to people? Alright, daggers for now it is. If I feel lazy I can just... Can I just tunnel untype, like, You don't have to constantly switch. I mean, let's see how... Whoa, totally spazzed out there. Let's see how far I can go without really feeling like I need to switch. Just to see how that goes. I'm trying to head over to an area that I found in the last demo, which is a old Flame Legion temple that was pretty exciting. I don't know that I'll get very far in it on my own, but we might run into some people over there. Otherwise, if you're playing and you're on... What server am I on? And you're on Darkhaven, and you have a level 20 plus character, feel free to come join me. I would love company. Until then, I'm just going to try and kind of... I don't even remember precisely where it was, so I'm just kind of running and attacking things until I find it again. Because that's kind of how I roll. Beta doesn't technically have a level cap as far as how far your character can advance, but the area is locked to about 1 to 30 for PvE, and you can only get up to level 20 in your storyline. So that's where it would technically be capped, but I don't think it keeps you from advancing past that. If you look in the lower part of my screen, you can see that I'm 30, but I haven't advanced my XP bar enough to where I would level up past that. So hopefully in the next 3 hours of gameplay, we'll be able to see whether or not I can level up past that. I'm pretty sure you can, because the last time around we were able to, because we were doing the explorable mode of the dungeon, which is level 35 recommended, and I was actually able to hit level 35 in the time of the beta. If I do anything super spastic during combat, I would take it as a huge favor if you would assume that's because I'm reading chat at that time, because it's probably true, although I am pretty spastic in and on my own. Psycho. I will do PvP later, although I feel I can't hold a candle to the glory that was your performance in PvP. Ooh, look, a person. What's more, a skill point. That's exciting. Sup, Bofang? That's a cool name. Let's see, how fun was that? That was pretty fun. It wasn't super hard, and it had... How much impact would you say that had on the game world, people? I would say it had almost none. And back to killing things. Where am I? Alright. Ooh, poo. Let's go... crap, this way.
Kill them all!
For the discussion in chat, leveling kind of depends on how much you're doing and what you're doing. But it's normally between about 20 minutes and an hour between levels, depending on, again, what you're doing. I didn't technically get to level 30 in a day, so the way that they've done this before is that Press had like a cheat NPC built into the game that we could talk to so that we could experience the dungeon, and they left that in this time around for people who were already flagged as Press, and since I'm on the same account that I was on as a Press member, I was able to take shameless advantage of that, which I feel incredibly guilty for. But not so guilty that I obviously didn't make as much use of it as possible. Oh, so this, you can see that I have a flame chicken behind me. It is actually fire elemental. That is my elite skill, which is summon elemental. If I'm in a different attunement, it will change what it is that I summon. So this fire elemental, because it's fire, is really good at dealing out a lot of damage. I can summon up a water elemental that will heal me and my allies, as well as dealing some damage. A spark elemental that, let's see, what does it do? We'll look it up later. Like a spark, so a air elemental that confuses or dazes or something foes and does damage. And then earth elementals are very hard to kill, so if you're in need of a body to distract people, they're very useful for that. There's also a utility skill that is summon lesser elementals, so those are just more minor forms of the same elemental. And I didn't really know about that till I saw, ooh, lag. Someone running past me with one. And I was like, ooh, what's that? And then I found out. Wow, that was super laggy. This is actually the first lag spike I've had in this game. Felt so bad because it's been pretty much smooth as butter for me since I started playing, and other people are having so many problems. Oops.
Insufficient permissions.
Dang. Whatever. I'm playing League of Legends. Didn't you know? Okay. What's in here?
User joined your channel.
Hello!
Hello, I'm not actually playing League of Legends. I'm streaming Guild Wars 2. Should I leave? Okay. What's up, Psycho? I don't suppose you have a level 20-something that you,
Not much. Not much indeed.
Your channel was edited.
Crazy. Anyway, take on this big old group of people.
Although if you really want to cheat, so that I don't screw over the talking video, you can go into the settings and put it on permanent voice activation. Would help you.
Or I could just leave.
Because I've never played an Elementalist for very long, so I have questions for you.
Oh, by all means. What questions do you have? Person in chat who is asking, right now I'm sticking to fire because the question was, like, can you just stick to fire? I can. I don't prefer to. Like, honestly, it's a lot more fun to switch stuff up and do different things. But you can be relatively successful. The thing is that right now I'm not doing necessarily challenging content because a lot of what I'm doing is single mobs, and you can have pretty much any level of skill in any playstyle and do well against individual mobs. In dungeons, I definitely, I don't, again, know that like I absolutely have to be switching all the time, but it makes things a lot easier. The pew pew kind of depends on their style, or that is what weapon you're playing them with. Like the Greatsword Mesmer is very pew pew, but their sword isn't pew pew in the sense of being like actual pew pew. PC specs? I don't know how to go. Oh, hang on. The heck is voice activation? You know what? No. Really?
The one capture. There you go. Capture.
Alright, capture. Voice activation. Okay. Are we good? Happy?
Yes.
Okay.
So, playing an Elementalist, how is it compared to some of the other classes that you've played for a short period of time?
I need more specificity than that. It's less tanky than a Guardian. It's more pew-pew than a Warrior, although Warriors are super, super fun. I love the Warrior so much. So it really depends on what you're looking for as far as... I mean, I feel like maybe I'm just the most used to it because I have played it the most, but I feel like it's more versatile, or I feel more versatile while playing it than others. Because of the attunement swapping and despite not having a weapon swap. But again, that might just be because like I haven't spent a lot of time on the Necro, for example.
With the attunements, do you feel that they are fairly balanced in the ways of them being used in combination with one another and possible teammates?
Yes, although I find that I tend to neglect Earth. I don't know if it's because it's all the way over on F4, so I just don't feel like reaching that far, or if it's because it's not... Let's see. Let's take this guy down. So, for one thing, I've got one skill that only really does a cripple, which again, if I'm only fighting one monster at a time, isn't super useful, because unless it's a veteran, they're not much of a threat to me up close. And having 2 ground targeted spells when you're fighting and moving around a lot isn't necessarily super useful. And there's also this orb, which is only good for projectiles, and you don't necessarily run into those a lot. So Earth, I think more than anything, and maybe Air a little bit, feels like it should be very supplemental. So I feel like almost Fire and Water are the ones that you start out with because they're the ones that you have really main. They're the ones that you could actually stay on and always do well. Whereas this is totally just my opinion, but Air and Earth feel more like they are supplementing the other two. Does that make sense?
That's quite interesting.
Ooh, that's shiny.
I don't know, I found it more useful to just go with Fire and Earth. Just have a blast with that.
I think...
It just seems... Go ahead.
I think it's kind of fun no matter what. But yeah. That's, again, I think where playstyle comes into it.
Have you had a chance to PvP with your Elementalist?
Only a bit. I actually really like the Mesmer in PvP. That is super, super fun. Mostly because of the clones and getting that little extra bit of time to survive because someone's attacking the wrong thing. But I have PvP'd as an Elementalist. It's fun. I found that I really prefer Scepter Dagger, whereas in PvE I'm normally playing Staff.
And what's so special with Scepter Dagger?
It's... I don't know, it feels a lot quicker. and it's more applicable because I don't tend to find myself in like big fights in PvP. I tend to do mostly like one-on-one or two-on-one, so I don't really need my big area of effects skills like fire shower or meteor shower and the healing rain that is the elementalist's 5th skill. It's just not as necessary because I'm not in big pitched battles. So quicker, lighter skills I find are typically more useful for me.
Have you had the chance to try their the Elementalist Elite skill, the Tornado?
I have not. Next time I have enough, how many points do I have? Long way away from that.
Well, if you just jump into PvP,
Yeah, I
it's
could.
automatically unlocked. So.
Right.
Wow. It's a blast. Quite the truth. So have you run into any issues using your Elementalist attunement and switching them?
Not really. The only thing I found is that if I'm in a situation where I'm relying on one specific attunement skill to get me out of it, I feel like I need to stay on it because, okay, for a kind of concrete example, in the Ascalonian Catacombs dungeon, when you're fighting the end boss, who, I don't know, do we care about spoilers on this channel? I feel like most people who are watching this would know who the end boss is already. Guys, what do you think? Can I spoil a little bit right there?
Go for it.
Alright. So you're fighting King Adelburn, and he has this really powerful area of effect pull, and it'll affect anybody who's on that pedestal fighting him, and it's really scary because right after it he has, a very powerful area of effect damage skill that doesn't quite one-shot you if you're an elementalist, but it's not fun to get hit by. So I would often be using this fire skill, the 4, which is Burning Retreat, to quickly roll backwards. So what I would do is just have myself kind of settled in this niche between 2 walls so that he couldn't attack me much until he pulled me in, and then I would just automatically hit that 4 skill on fire attunement whenever he did that grab. But I was always so scared of having switched away from it right when he did the grab that I ended up just staying fire for the entire fight, when it would have been more useful for my teammates if I had had some, rain to throw down or whatever.
Yeah, I ran into that issue too when I was, I think I played like 3 or 4 matches as an elementalist. The time switching between the attunements just seemed a little too long for me.
Yeah, it's not super bad in PvP, or I'm sorry, PvE, because you're just kind of running around and it's not a long cooldown to get back to being able to switch to one of the skills you didn't just switch away from. But if you're trying to go back to one really quickly, it can get kind of dodgy.
Apparently the viewers don't like you stealing the attention that you give them.
Oh, I still love you, chat. I'm sorry. Chat, throw me a question that is about Guild Wars 2. Just gonna put that little...
Are you going to be rolling an elementalist the first class you play?
Gee. Actually, I don't know about first. Like I said, I'm really super fond of the warrior, and the guardian is growing on me the more I play. Their hammer skill is, super fun.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a warrior for the win.
You like... person in chat, I do like the thief. I haven't spent a lot of time in the medium armor classes because I tend to not play those as much. Just in any RPG or pen and paper or anything that I play, I just don't have the mindset for sneaky, stabby. But what little I have played of them, I have enjoyed, and except for in dungeons. They're horrible in dungeons because melee in dungeons for anything that isn't a guardian or a warrior is not super fun at the moment, or it wasn't a month ago.
Don't know who invented liquid soap, nor do I care to know why, but it works.
Have I seen much of the world changing in impactful ways other than bridges collapsing? Okay, so I mentioned earlier that I was trying to get to this old fire temple thing. And that's, I think, a pretty good example of the world changing. It's not necessarily a visible change, but it changes in relation to what players have done, what they can do. Because if you go through this chain of a meta event to chase the Flame Legion out of their temple, you actually have the opportunity to enter what's called an open world dungeon. It's essentially exactly what it sounds like. Anyone can enter it. It's not instance. It's out in the open world, although you have to do certain things to get to it. And it's a series of, puzzles and fire traps and big, painful traps and people that you have to fight, and it ends in a very cool boss and stuff. And that's only possible if you go through the world and you change the world so that the conditions are meant for it, which isn't like, pulling down a mountain, but it is fairly significant, I feel.
A fairly standard question for you. What do you feel when you play the dynamic quests? Do you feel like you actually do have an impact on what goes on before 10 minutes when it resets, or do you just wish that it was a little longer and make an actual impact on what happens and what other quests could possibly open up?
It changes so much from event to event. Some events I feel like, wow, I wasn't needed here at all. Either the NPCs are fine, or it just wasn't a big deal. But others, especially the ones that are more proactive, like chasing centaurs out of an area as opposed to fighting them off, that I think makes me feel kind of like a hero, because you do that and then suddenly people are rallying and you're running forward, and it's this kind of momentum shift, as sportscasters would like to say. That's kind of wonderful. Hey, look, there's a bridge here.
All right. And on 3986 says, you observing ping issues that MMOs are infamous for? And does it feel like a local game, for example?
As I was mentioning earlier, I actually just hit a lag spike here that was the first one I've ever had in this game, except for when there were 500 people in an area trying to kill 40 overpowered Asura for a closing event that was designed to test the server stress. I've never felt like it was super laggy or that I was giving commands that were being delayed by latency issues. So I know very much that that is not the case for everybody, and that some people are having massive problems, but that isn't something I can really speak to.
Alright, Xander asks, what is there to do in town? Is there any particular spot where everyone hangs out?
I actually can't answer that question because I have no idea, because I spend so little time in towns. The only time that I've been in a town for a significant period of time has been for closing events. Because aside from that, I am out in the world as much as possible. If you guys want, we can go to a town and find out, but I don't...
I can answer that for you.
Oh, then by all means.
Everybody hangs out in the mists, believe it or not, where the PvP stuff goes down. There's a whole bunch of people chatting. There's people talking about different builds, different setups, how to take down this, different types of chat, all going at once. It's extremely nice too, because you don't have that typical crowd where everybody's swearing at each other, saying racist crap. It's actually a really constructive community.
That's awesome. Oh, I'm sorry.
Alright, and on 3275 asks, is there any trees or specific like WoW or other MMOs?
So as far as specking goes, you've got your traits and attributes, and if I get to a place where I'm not going to be attacked by ghosts, I can pull that up really quick. This looks relatively safe. I'm going to hide over here, and we'll see that I have skills and traits, and my traits are attribute points. So at level 30 I had, 30 of them, 20 of them. Yeah, 20, because it starts at level 11 unlocking. So you can put them into here, and this says that right now, because I don't have any points in air magic, my precision isn't being increased because I don't have anything in there. If I were to add another point, it would put, plus 10 or plus 1 to my precision. Like you can see here, I've put 5 points into water magic, and I have plus 50 on my healing and plus 50 on my vitality, and I've unlocked this soothing mist, which is a minor attribute those are attributes, right? I don't know. So it's a minor perk that comes out, which means that I'm regenerating health whenever I'm attuned to water. So that's kind of as close as we get to talent trees. It's not really the same, but that's, I think, the most in-depth it gets. And you can refund those and redistribute your points, but in PvE, that's going to cost you.
Alright, I'm going to apologize to everybody. If I don't get to your question right away, I'm sorry. Alright, Big Sin Hats asks, right in PvP, as you both have done PvP on Elementalist, do you feel a strong presence? Do you like how they feel and can take on a few people? And when it's needed, can you synergy and move up? Absolutely. I feel a really, really strong presence in there as Elementalist, especially if you're not afraid to get into the fight. What about you, Liz?
Absolutely. They're super fun. I know that somebody, I think it was Talgrim, was saying that they feel like a glass cannon with too much glass the way that they're initially set up. But, crap, what's my heal? I thought they were super fun, especially like you said, if you're not afraid to go in there and maybe die a horrible, painful death.
Well, what I found out is if you lay down your shower and hit the tornado, you're just going to tear it up and you will not die.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since the tornado itself, you could hit for upwards to, I was hitting 2,600 easy, which I think is a little retarded.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, you have a really strong presence. Oh, what the hell is that one map? The Forest of whatever it's
Niflo,
called.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you. If you turn to the Earth Attunements and you lay down stuff just as they're coming up the stairs, you could take that point over easily, no problems asked.
Mm-hmm.
There. English. I don't speak it properly. Alright, RD3IN asks, you are playing Char at the moment. Which race do you prefer and why?
I think when all is said and done, I'm going to prefer the Sylvari, but I obviously don't know that yet, which is so sad. Of the races there are, I think I've spent the most time as a Char, and the Norn area has the most interest to me. So there's a kind of answer.
I've actually never gotten past the first quest as a Char. I just jump right into PvP.
Hey, everybody likes different things.
How is the Char area after that first quest?
It's super fun. I think it's kind of awesomely nostalgic because it's got some hints of both, actually kind of all three times that you're in the area, you see kind of the Eye of the North beauty, you see kind of a bit of the, I don't know, serenity of pre-searing, and there's still some of the, ugh, what is this from post-searing. So as someone who spent a great deal of time in that whole area, it's nostalgic, but it still feels very new. I mean, none of the scenery that I've run through while we're on the stream has felt like, oh, I've been here before, like this is exactly like it was in Guild Wars 1. That's just not a thing.
Down by the toppled wall felt the same for me when I was running down there on my Norn Guardian, trying to get to the boost me to level 30, but apparently doesn't work anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody just asked about platforming exploration challenger areas, so I'm going to try and find one that I found the last time around. And someone also asked about, is there actually any challenge? So I'm hoping that the boss there, last time he kind of whooped my butt when I went in alone, so I'm hoping he does that again, just so that people in the stream understand what's going on.
Alright. Chuck asks, it looks like so far you literally mow through the mobs. What is your impression regarding overall difficulty challenge and balance of the AI?
Okay, so like I said, I'm actually trying to find someone right now who's going to totally whoop me and send me crying home to my mother. But for the most part, I think that I like the fact that you can more or less know that you're going to defeat most mobs that are normal, because the game is made more or less for the lowest common denominator, or the least skilled element of the player base, which isn't super fun if you're really looking for a challenge. So maybe that's when you go running into the harder areas or the places where mobs are more mowed up or balled up, because you can see again that I'm mostly fighting one or two mobs at a time, and that shouldn't present a huge challenge. For one thing, I've been between 10 to 20 levels above them this entire time. I'm a level 30 even though I'm being sidekicked down, so I do have a fairly significant advantage. And for another thing, I've spent a lot of time on an elementalist, and I'm a player, not an AI, so I wouldn't be thrilled if it was like super challenging for me all the time to go up against normal mobs, especially because the challenge is there when you're doing dungeons and you're doing other more challenging things that are supposed to be difficult.
And on 3275 asks, what's with the bonus XP and how do you get it?
By bonus XP, you mean...
I think when you kill a mob it says like bonus XP
Oh.
47 or something like that.
I actually have no idea how that works. Don't tell anyone I said that. Oh, wait. So, yeah, not super sure. That... Look for it the next time it comes up. I'll try and puzzle out what I did differently. I don't know. Maybe I did something special. Maybe if they die on a crit.
You're an elementalist. Just use that excuse.
I'm an elementalist. I do everything I do is magic, and yeah, that's how it
There
works.
you go.
Yep.
Alright, and on 3986 asks, can you open your session to the public or something and have people on the same quest as you automatically join you? My biggest pet peeve on an MMO is that they feel single player far too much for the time. Cough, Star Wars The Old Republic.
I don't know that exactly what you're asking for can happen. I do know that if you're in a group with somebody and they have the same quest as you, you can both go into whoever's instance and you can choose to share progress for it. So for example, my friend and I both rolled a Raven Norn or something in the last beta weekend, and we were in a group, and we oh, those are shiny. And so we had the same starting quest to go through, and we kind of found out on accident that we were able to actually share our progress for them, because, you know, I would go into it and we would have the same exact quest, and at the end of it he would be asking, you know, do you want to save this progress or discard it and do it on your own later? And that way people can always, if they feel like making a different decision, they can do that. But if you don't want to have to go through and redo it again, you two can have shared that, and that can be shared with up to 5 people because it's up to 5 party members.
Alright. Sean asks,
Hey,
are
Sean.
you guys having fun? I certainly am, and I'm loving the Ranger. So are you having fun?
Of course I am.
Some people are asking if you have a scepter. Do you?
Do I have a scepter? I do have a scepter. Do you want to go scepter dagger for a while, people? I feel like that really means I'm going to die at this person. Okay, so this is a jumping puzzle. And that's a very steep jump. Oh good, someone else is going through this with me. We might actually make it. Oh Lord.
Don't fall off.
It's not the falling off I'm worried about, it's the dying right here. Because that is quite the thing to make it through. Alright. I'm gonna die in front of everybody.
Oh, that's okay. You should have seen me try to take on a world boss all by myself. Level 2 garden.
Yeah! I made it! Woo! Alright. That means the next part is up here. Thank God for Mark Zadarajny. He was so patient when he walked me through this, and I was so bad. I died like 50 times.
That spin shaking would totally screw me over. So for these jump puzzles, how difficult would you say they are?
It depends. Whether or not you've been through them before. And jump. Oh god, oh god, oh god.
For your first time experience, how is it based on that?
It depends on how coordinated you are. For example, I am not very coordinated at all. So my first time through was horrible. I'm going to back out of here and put on a staff. I know that that's cheating, but I'd really like to survive this encounter if at all possible, and I don't think it is. Oh heck, we're just going to go for it. Nope, no we're not. Oh, there's not really anywhere for me to run. Just gonna get right over on this ledge.
The final countdown.
Oh lord. Ah, alright. We're gonna run at this again. Alright. I did turn to smoke person. It's one of the down skills that lets you escape, which is great if you're in the dungeons, because you can just run out of people's areas, or the area of the enemy's attacks, and heal yourself quietly, and that way your companions don't have to worry about you so much. So that's super good. Alright, I'm gonna cheat again. Nope, that's not the cheat button. The cheat button's over here. And disable camera shake. I'm a terrible person. Oh, and that's a flame trap. Clever.
Sean has a second question.
All right,
It
Sean.
is, what is your favorite combo so far as the teammates? The skills in the game have a ton of synergy with each other. For example, a team with the Ring of Fire and arrows being fired through it.
I don't know that I have a favorite. I know that...
Well done.
Oh, crap. Oh, I remember this. I have to, like, run around. Poo. Crap. Worthless. Absolutely worthless. As a warrior, I put on Stomp and was just jumping into every area of effect that I saw, which was not the brightest move on my part because I jumped into quite a few flame fields that were not friendly, which was a less than wonderful experience. But so that's super fun to just be able to jump into things and see how things change and figure out what's what.
What is your favorite combination of classes? Elementalist and something else?
It's probably Elementalist and Warrior, Elementalist and Ranger, because when you're doing that, basically everything is guaranteed to be a combo, because you have some person who's shooting things, well, when I'm the Warrior, it is, what on earth? You've got one person who's shooting things and one person who's setting up fields all the time, so it's kind of hard to go wrong. Oh lord. So yeah, Elementalist and Warrior is super fun for cross-profession combinations. I haven't spent a lot of time in parties with the Necro, which is a shame because I have a feeling like that their dark fields would be super fun to play around with. I'm now waiting for the other people to join us, and while I do that, I am going to cheat and equip a staff. I'm sorry, everybody.
And on 9909 would like to know if Pete could join the beta.
And on what is it, 9909? If you go out and pre-purchase, you absolutely can. You won't have a lot of time left by the time you download, but you could do it. So, there you go. I sounded like a total shill right there.
Download only took me about 30 minutes, 40 minutes tops.
Well, that's awesome.
I know. Canadian connections. It's just wonderful.
Peter, the staff is cheating because people told me not to equip it. But I don't really care right now because she's scary.
Xander would like to know, in what attunement can you play as a classical healer?
Not really, because if you look, like, this thing does, like, 20 healing, maybe. Maybe. This one doesn't do any healing at all. It just causes vulnerability. This one does a little bit of healing. It does 18 per pulse, which is, again, not a lot when you're looking at someone with a 1400 health pool. And this is probably your most valid heal skill. But again, that's not a lot if you just want to be casting heals. So you can play full support by casting vulnerability on enemies, switching around maybe to air and knocking them back and controlling them a little bit, stunning foes with a field, or throwing down earth attunement for cripples. So you can do a pure support role, but I think you're limiting yourself if you just do heals or just do water, or really just do anything.
I noticed that the healing rain looked like divine healing out of the monk tree. That's pretty sneaky.
Mm-hmm. Alright, we're apparently still waiting for 2 more people. But that's cool. Oh look, digital sales in North America have resumed, according to Guild Wars' Twitter stream. Thanks for pointing that out, Peter.
Well, if anybody lives in the Langley area of British Columbia and you wanted a collector's edition, I'm sorry, but I bought 3 of them. Sorry. That's $450, if anybody's wondering.
That's a level of dedication.
Although I might buy another 2 and just give them away.
I don't know that Logan was ever a badass person who's asking in chat. I'm pretty sure he was a wuss. So we're gonna have to agree to disagree about that. Lord Stark, yes, I have meddled with crafting. It's pretty fun. I actually have a video on it on YouTube if you want to go look it up at Elixabeth Claire C. Just kind of walking through armor and weaponsmithing. Come on, can we go yet? There are like 5 of us. And sighing isn't in. Dang it. How can I express my frustration?
You could type /cry and jump around break mechanics all day.
That's so fun. Can you do other races areas besides your own, like go over to the human or the little peoples? Yes. So I actually spent most of my time yesterday running around in the Char area as a Norn because I could. And I've also done a lot of time in the human areas as a Char because it's kind of fun because I like laughing at people. And we're lollygagging. And we're lollygagging.
The betas are going to be at the end of every month, and most people are going to assume that the release of Guild Wars 2 will be June 26th. Although I don't necessarily think it's going to be June 26th, it might be late July.
I'm going to refrain from guessing.
Well, you don't want to jinx it?
I don't know. I don't like being wrong.
I'm going to hope it's soon. Well, I got $10 on June 26th.
All right.
27th. Whatever Tuesday. Lord Stark would like to know, is there a quest tracker and does it state the rewards you get, such as gold, silver, and bronze?
I don't know. This tells me what's going on, but it doesn't tell me about what I've done. I can access my story that tells me what I have done, but it doesn't give rewards. It shows me what my... Oh, hang on. Shows me what my biography choices were, but it does not list rewards, apparently. Ah, my lord. There's somebody still at the fire, and then we should be good. Okay. Kitty made it past the fire. I don't even know who these people are, but I have such a vested interest in their being alive right now.
It's a bunch of kitty cats.
Yep.
Yay, kitties.
Shy party! Lord Stark. So yeah, it does track just personal storyline because that's the only thing that's technically a quest. Like hearts, you can open up and see what you have or have not done because the heart UI will, maybe not. The heart UI, if it shows up, will actually show you what you've done and what was going on there. And then dynamic events don't really have a tracker anywhere, so it's not really possible to say. Leaking Blood is saying, oh, while we wait, how about some sweeping code goodness? We do have sweepstakes codes, and I don't remember which one's going first. He should put it out in chat, and then I will talk about it. How about it, Peter?
Psycho is awesome.
No.
Psycho
No.
is awesome.
Oh, it's Flameseeker. I wonder why I chose that. So the code word right now is Flameseeker. I don't even know where you're going to enter it. Psycho, do you know?
Yeah, go to guildwars2live.com/sweepstakes.
Alright, we're in a group. That's cool. So yes, you go to, do that. Enter in Flameseeker. You have a chance to win cool book. Yeah, it's a book. Yeah. Okay, we're totally gonna do this time. It's gonna be awesome. Maybe. There are not dances in at the moment. They are not in for now. There are other emotes. I will not go through them right now because this is a fairly tense moment. And I don't think it would work to start sobbing in the corner. Although that'd be pretty funny. Alright. We are so ready. Come on, people. Oh, Lord. Alright. Oh, and naturally, I would. Yeah, perfect. Super perfect. Extra perfect. How do I mess that up? That's the easiest jump in the thing. Alright. Hopefully, those people will... I really don't want to hear about it right now. Those people will still be fighting by the time I get my silly self all the way back up. Oh look, somebody else already died. Yeah, like a boss, I don't... See, this is what happens when you do things live. You mess up terribly. Oh, it's day out. Who knew? Yeah. Messed up so badly. Anyway, as the person who was asking about mob AI could see, that thing took me down pretty quickly anytime I got near her, provided I was able to, actually get near her because I made the jump. So the mobs aren't necessarily all to be trifled with. There are some who are very, very challenging and very, very not fun to necessarily be in an encounter with. Dodge. Oh yeah.
Pick a guardian, win everything in PvE.
They are pretty fun. Alright, it sounds like the fight with her is still going on, so it looks like I didn't necessarily miss a lot. Oh, no, they just beat her. Dang it. Yeah!
Well, at least you got a reward.
It's true. So we killed Captain Ravenwood, And we're gonna move on to do something. Let's see, over here maybe? I see steps. What else do I see? Ooh, I just triggered a pressure plate, so that wall is gonna crumble. And we're gonna go through there. Wasn't that exciting, everybody?
Yay!
Woo! I'm a winner. And over here we're gonna find... Ooh, I just got something.
Chicken dinner.
So we just opened a treasure chest because that was the end of our thing. So yay! We just had our first dungeon jumping puzzle thing. It's not a dungeon. We killed the thingado. We got a treasure. It was magical. I think we can all agree that that was a beautiful experience. A little like anticlimactic on the treasure, but it was cool. So yeah, that's fun and very nice atmospheric spiderwebs. So that's a jumping puzzle.
Yay!
Yay! Yay. Ooh, hang on, what am I examining? Okay, so there's a journal, which I didn't read earlier, so I didn't take you through it in the proper order. So when you first come into the room, it says, "A weathered journal lies near the skeleton of what is possibly the last explorer to make it this far. The cover bears the name Henry Jennis Sr. If we examine the journal, we find the pitiful excuses for traps that are scattered throughout these ruins wouldn't trip up a blindfolded Eden. This appears to be the final chamber. Continue reading. Pressure plate in the rafter seems linked to opening this chest. Yet another pitiful attempt by the unimaginative trap makers who rigged this cave to stop intruders, but there's no threat to me." So the pressure plate that I triggered was one that this previous explorer had found, and it's super cool. And yeah. So I'm going to go back out this way because it's what the cool kids are not doing. Unless people think I should just stay with the group. Yes, no? Yes, no? Anybody? When you buy the game, you want me to read so you don't have to? I don't think that's going to work. Unless you want to pay me a whole lot of money to sit around and narrate your game for you. In which case, I would be happy to.
In a world where one female seeks to make an unlimited amount of money by narrating other people's games.
They all died horribly somehow, and I'm not really sure how that happened. So, we're gonna find that out. Oh crap, I might have jumped down too soon. So the wall closed on them and they died. So apparently if you're excavating secret areas, don't necessarily hang around a long time. I don't know that I have Iron Dock Waypoint. I don't want to tell them that, so I'm just going to swim over there. Unless, chat, would you rather see something else? What? I should phrase that better. What do you want to see in the game again?
People say everything Lion's Arch. What's the point of a mesmer? PvP. Sitting and crafting. Other stuff.
I don't have any crafting materials to do crafting with. Ooh. I'm gonna ask if they want to do anything underwater, otherwise we can just go down on our own. Yeah, so you can dive. I'll just go out and see. I'm on top of the water. Boom! Dove. Yeah! Diving right there.
Go fight Jormag.
I'm just gonna kill things down here while we wait. Ooh, air's super fun because I can make this shining cage. Yeah, shining cage! Woo! Sorry, I think that's really exciting. I can also make bubbles. I'm gonna make a bubble. And I'm gonna make another bubble. Yeah, bubbles all over him. And then I can make little sparks that I'm shocked. Get it, shocked. Don't come back and hurt me as well, because it's, you know, a conductor.
Forget logic. This is Guild Wars 2. Electricity underwater? No problem.
Yeah.
39.5 wishes to know where is your air and can you drown?
Where's your air? So I don't technically have air. What I have is basically a rebreather. So I have an aqua breather that makes me look super stylish underwater, may I say. Let's take a good long look at that. Shiny. I think everyone can agree that that is the height of fashion for the char. And that allows me to have infinite breath, which means I don't have to worry about, you know, do I explore that cave or do I go back up for oxygen? Which is a nice thing, I feel, because I don't want to go in your guild. Oh, gosh. Fine, whatever, join. But I don't want to represent you. Represent. What was I talking about? Breathing. So you don't have to worry about breathing unless you're about to die, because the way that you rally from being downed as an underwater fighter is that you have to swim to the surface. So if there's no surface to swim to, you're in a lot of trouble. Because essentially, like in this Font of Rand, which is the end result of the Flame Legion Temple thing that I kept making reference to, you're doing a bunch of stuff underwater, which is really cool, except for you're doing it underwater in rooms that have no, like, air bubble at the top. So if you have to swim to the surface, you can't, because you're, like, 5 rooms into this tunnel thing chamber, which is great until, again, like I said, you're dying, because either you have a friend or you're kind of out of luck, which is a nice level of strategy there. Why are we standing around? And turn around. And ghosties.
I'm no slugabed. I'm up at dawn, working on the Iron Barracuda. Don't let them destroy
We have an Iron Barracuda. Did everybody in chat just hear that? He said Iron Barracuda. Like Iron Barracuda. I'm super stoked.
Get down there and stop those
Do-do-do,
separatists
do-do-do.
destroying the submarine now.
Separatists? Where are the separatists? I don't understand. Do you see separatists? I don't. See, that is one problem with the shouty thing. When you're like, oh, we're not going to have a UI, we're just going to shout at you, is that I legitimately do not see separatists. Someone in chat, correct me if I'm wrong, because I see nothing marked separatist, I see no submarine, and I see, like, no pitched battle except for those people over there who are fighting target dummies. So it's kind of
I
difficult.
noticed that too.
Like,
I've noticed that too.
they don't make it obvious that you can go up and talk to this person, and you can say, oh, point me at them, and she says, go over there. So now that I've talked to her, there's this shield here that says if I come over here, I can kill the separatists before they destroy the Iron Barracuda. That's awesome, but you need to let people know that that's an expectation. Because otherwise people are just going to be like, oh, she's shouting at me and I don't see anything. You told me to trust my senses because, you know, the NPC's shouting at me, but I'm not actually being shown where to go. So that's kind of confusing. And, like, people can work past it. It's a workable system, but it's not super polished at the moment, I don't feel. Person Chuck and me asks, is overall level progression linear or can you kind of choose? So because